I start from the beginning, and you said, oh, breathe into it, and I started to feel a bit more confident. And when you turn over, I really felt quite blessed that I was here, and quite grateful for your work, because of, I think a lot of the tension has come out already, and I was already feeling quite grateful for everything you were doing to me. And thank you, by the way. And so that's why I needed to hug you, because just wanted to say, thank you in a level of body as well, and a level of energy. Just wanted to say, not only saying words, but for you to feel how grateful I was. And I'm feeling like crying now because I feel that gratitude coming.
Yes.
And you turned me over, and then you started working my tummy, which is a part that I always have tension. I have a lot of constipation, I had gastritis, I had lots of issues with my tummy. And you pressed some parts that was very painful, was very dark, and it was like this, I felt like I was getting into this black hole. I didn't know what was happening. And again, my controlling part started to freak out, and I was getting sucked into that. And then you told me not to be scared, just that you were there, and it was very reassuring. And you gave me lots of your love and energy to help me feel better. And then I saw, not images, but I felt all that war coming. I don't know if it was in past life. I'm pretty sure it was, because I do have lots of problems watching war films, and I have a lot of problems reading the news or watching the news. So ever since I was 16 years old, I don't like to listen to the news, because it's so much misery. And I react very strongly to misery and people suffering, and stories of rapes and people being killed in war. I never understood the purpose of the war, and I felt a lot of the suffering, a lot of the pain and suffering, and being raped and being murdered in my gut. And it was such a horrible feeling. It was so intense and deep. And you helped me.
Very real.
It was extremely real. I felt like I was being raped and murdered at that point when you were doing that massage, and then you pressed those points, and it was so intense, and I felt I was living at that moment, all that war. And you helped me release that, and saying that, to feel the love, and you gave me your love, and I started to feel that, and from that started to get lighter and lighter, gradually. And soon after that I had a cathartic reaction. I was finally able to go through that darkness to see the light, like you told me.
It was more than mental too. When I put my heart on there,
Yes.
that turned it around, didn't it?
Yes, very much. So you gave me your energy and your love, and I could feel that, and I could feel that I was being loved, and I was safe, and everything was okay. And that's when I think, when I was able to let it go and feel the love and feel your energy, and everything was released. I went past through that, and suddenly I felt so much joy. I felt like I told you, I felt like I was just moments before dying, because you know how you hear everyone saying how peaceful it is just before you die, because I was feeling like I was going to die at that point, because I was in a war, and I felt like that point in time when I was dying, and I felt very peaceful, and it was the
universal energy of gratitude to her, and she responded likewise.
universal energy and love embracing me. And that's when I felt all the joy, and all my body went, I think, vibrating. I don't know if it was actually vibrating or not, but I felt all the vibration within me. And that's when I also is this joy, because it was so nice. I couldn't believe how wonderful that feeling was. I was laughing like I never laughed before. It was a laugh from inside me. It's the spiritual laugh.
Here she describes the spiritual laugh coming from the soul, a deep laugh that's honest and real.
Say, because it's not it's not a mind laugh. It's not like you listen to something that is funny. No, it was.
Her laugh came from beyond this physical world. Have a listen.
A laugh or a smile that came from beyond, I don't know, beyond this physical world, I would say. And I stayed there and I couldn't believe how amazing that was and how wonderful that felt. And I felt, well, I can't believe that people go through this life without feeling joy, like this is joy, this is amazing. And I never felt like that before. And after when you were touching, I told you that I had some pain on my liver, around my liver area, which is another area that I have lots of problems. And you started working on that, and you said, well, are you ready to go to the next phase? And then you put your hand on my heart as well, and I could feel coming. And I think I had an orgasm or something, that I felt my inner parts from my vagina or something, the vibration coming from the vagina up to my head, and it came, I could feel coming on in waves, like going upwards. And
that was in stages. It's just
in
like
stages,
built,
yes, like yes.
From one vortex to the next vortex. So
and it was coming, yes, and I could feel it coming, and it was so amazing, because when I have orgasm with my partner, I have that, but it's so fleeting, it's so concentrated in the perineal area. It doesn't go to the head, but I could feel it coming from the vagina, from the perineal area to my abdominal area, to my stomach area, to my heart, to up to my head, and I could feel that coming, and it was amazing. And after that, I felt all my body in tingles, everywhere was tingling, and I felt a complete bliss. I cannot say any other words. A complete bliss and ecstasy. And for I don't know how long, for a long time after that, I could still feel the tingling and the vibrations, and I could, like I told you, I felt like my whole body was complete, was filled with this mass of flow of energy that was very still, very calm, but still I could feel it's alive and it's very beautiful.
Now let's pay attention to what she just said. The energy was very still, yet very alive. Understanding this is vital, because we tend to see in the shamanic de-armoring or tantra that people start thrashing around, screaming, carrying on, having these orgasmic sounds. It is, thrashing around is resistance. It's going to the old pattern, not feeling that is encouraged. It's not even emotional release. Don't fool yourself. It's just you revisiting junk. We're not going to do this.
Yeah, like when you see the ocean under the sunlight and everything sparkles, and I was feeling like I was sparkling inside me, and yes, I just felt amazing, and it's absolutely wonderful. I can only thank you for that.
Now, when you say you started to feel the vaginal orgasm moving up, and I had my hand on the solar plexus area, didn't I, at that time?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, there was no touch there,
touching,
and it was really, yep, exactly. There's no vaginal touching, nowhere near it. The power center set that off.
Yes.
So you came from your center into orgasm rather than the G-spot stimulation that we tend to hear about.
Yes, no.
That's amazing.
It was weird because, yes, I could feel it vibrating from down to up, but the vibration, how can I say, I felt first in my abdomen, and then I felt coming from below to upwards. So it started actually in my abdomen or stomach area, and then I felt the tingling coming from my vaginal area upwards. But
would you say it dropped down into it when we were up here, or
I
travelled
down
first
here?
Yes, you
maybe
did.
I became aware later of the vaginal area.
Exactly.
Yes,
Okay.
but you only touched on my solar plexus,
Yeah.
yes, on my stomach
Amazing.
area. Yes, it was amazing. Yes, and I'm still very relaxed and very happy.
That's really wonderful that we speak about that type of orgasm, because people seem to think that you need to stimulate your genitals and do all this foreplay, but it actually comes from the center to center, doesn't it?
Yes.
And so men and women are being educated right now listening to this.
Yes.
We never hear that.
Yes. No, we don't, and that's why it's a bit weird, because I had to think, I think I'm feeling something there, because you don't expect that happening, and that's why it started from here. But then I thought, well, wait a minute, I can feel something down there, and then it came on waves upwards. So that's how I know. But yes, it was a different type of orgasm, much more gentle, much more durable as well. It goes much beyond, and yes, and after that I felt in a state of bliss, really.
So you were in ecstasy, then you said you were bliss, and there were other feelings. They were all distinctly different.
Yes, they were,
joy was different from bliss and ecstasy, and
when I was in
Her joy was the universal joy. She emerged part of the universe. Have a listen.
joy, it was like I merged into the universal joy. So it was very happy. It was really vibrant and happy and very joyful, like dancing. Yes.
Bliss was entirely different. It was very calm. It was very gentle. Have a listen.
And the blissful sense was very calm, very gentle, and yes, an ecstasy, but it's very calm and very gentle and very still, very peaceful.
so that the ecstasy was also very calm.
Yes, so the bliss and ecstasy.
How was that different from bliss to ecstasy? They were both calm, but what was the difference in the calmness and the distinction between bliss and ecstasy? What feelings were they?
The bliss is, I think it's all because I felt like there's all this sparkling sensation, all the sting, because everywhere was tingling. I felt like water sparkling under the sunshine.
That kind of tingling, it's a different kind of
crystal,
tingling, isn't
yes.
it?
Like, like when you put crystal and you see, diamonds
That's
or something
bliss.
sparkling.
Okay.
And I felt like a bliss, and because it's so nice, but it's not exciting happy, it's just a peaceful happiness.
Bliss, she says, uniting of peace. Therefore, it was a peaceful happy. Everything sparkling, which is different to exciting happy.
Very peaceful joy.
Was it a merging as well, would you say? And that's where the peace came from? Was there a merging?
Yes, it was a merging. A uniting, yes, a uniting to peace.
She gets clear on this. That was a feeling.
On a deep level of fun, isn't it? Not the fluffy fun. That's the big difference. It was fun. Yeah. And I haven't had fun in my life for a long time. Play. If ever. Wow. If ever.
My mind wanted to come in and kind of go, make some, was going to do something.
And it didn't.
And I didn't. It didn't happen. I was going to do something.
So now you know you can function without the mind thing and with the cells, and so much freer, isn't it?
All the experiences I've had, I've never had anything like it. All the orgasms, all the treatments, all the studies and practices and workshops. I've never had anything like this. Probably it. You've got something, haven't you? You've got something that I want.
You let me in. Yeah. And when you let me in, you have a part of what I know available for yourselves.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty. So if you didn't let me in, I could have struggled and gotten nowhere, and I get that with clients.
Yeah.
I can't force
No.
this level of
No.
stuff.
No.
I can't
No.
con it.
No.
I can't. Well, I can if I wanted to, but it wouldn't work. So that was a realization and a feeling, describing the feeling. Tell me what you're feeling. What was the emotion? What's the feeling?
So I just went for a walk outside, and then I just had this realization, and yeah, a realization in my heart.
So it was a feeling.
A feeling, maybe a little bit in my head, but which is often where I am quite a lot, but it was in my body. And yeah, just walking around the yard, fresh air, and once again, uncontrollable emotion coming out. And it was a realization of living 45 years of trying to please other people, not being true to myself.
By everyone else's rules.
Living way off everyone else's rules, and not being truly harmonious, even in friendships that I think are quite close friendships, which I have with a number of girls, but they're really not as genuine and deep as I thought or felt. Communicating genuinely.
So you're recognising the word patterns people use and the word patterns we use here are quite distinctly different, aren't they?
They are.
So we live by our word patterns. Our word is our word, is our soul, the creator. It creates our environment. The power of the word. Did the grass feel different? The earth feel different as you stepped? What did you feel in your body? Because there was a connection there, wasn't there?
A lightness. Like the weight's been lifted off the shoulders, but actually off the whole body, off the feet, off everything.
So freedom.
Freedom.
Now, next thing, what do we do with freedom? And we're going to work at how we work with freedom, yeah? And it's like animals that have been caged for years and years and years. They're released in stages, aren't they? Otherwise the environment will damage them. Correct?
Yes.
So we're working on that aspect now.
Yeah.
That's the further stages. That's deep. So how you as a free person are going to function amongst the society, that's fantastic. Because freedom you can have amongst free people, that'd be easy to do. But the reality is you're stepping out into the world with other people that have their own stuff, and they have their own word patterns, and they have this act going on, yes? They've been programmed to live in a certain way, to think a certain way. And this, yeah?
To talk a certain way.
Yeah.
I'm getting this big time.
And that's the very thing you've been struggling with, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Tasha has this innate ability to know what I'm thinking and feeling. It's a little bit frightening, but fantastic. And just before she mentioned that, that's exactly what I was thinking and feeling about relating in the real world among everyone with their stuff going on, and realising how much of the world is in that place, and realising that, gee, yeah, I certainly wasn't alone out there. There was just millions and millions and millions of people.
Billions.
Billions of people.
Now you want to be just one of the 1%, not one of the 99%, correct?
I do. It's,
Everyone else is free to be who they are. They want to conform, that's fine. If it's affecting them and they want to go ahead with that, that's fine. But it's affecting you and you don't want to continue that way.
yeah,
That's what you said to me.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I was continuing how I was for 45 years because I didn't know any different. I just thought, this is how the world is, this is what we do. Even if, having experiences, holidays and fun activities, whitewater kayaking, for 25 years. Probably without whitewater kayaking, I would have got to a point earlier, this point earlier, it was something I could really hold on to get away from the real world. So trying to just fill up life with outside stimulation, even if we think they're great experiences, we're just filling up life. So we don't actually, we're trying to ignore what's really going on. And I think I could be speaking for millions of people who might be feeling that way as well.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself, you'll affect billions. If you speak for the billions, you'll affect 900.
Yeah. Yes. As has been said before. Another reminder for me, that's once again, I'm often doing that, being outside and trying to help people, but I really need to, it was a distraction once again, I was really needing to look inside me. So yeah, that was a big realisation right there. Always trying to help other people. Improve their lives, but it wasn't really looking at me. It was a distraction, and I felt I was doing a good thing. But
an empty vessel can't fill anybody else until it fills itself.
It was a great quote. Yeah, always offering advice to female friends who got guy issues or whatever. Big realisation right there.
But this session really helped me literally feel it, feel it beyond the logical words, and even putting meaning to it. It's just you actually literally feel it at an essence, It's just like my essence was evolving and developing in my wisdom, and not necessarily, it doesn't have to be spoken wisdom even. It's just that internal wisdom of yourself and your unique being in the universe.
When I first started talking, it was like, wow, this is feeling good. Almost like it's too good to be true. Like, is this real? My brain kept asking me, is this real? I was feeling a little bit of like, how can it be? Because I resonated so much with the work that was available to me. And I just felt so nourished, supported in her words and her energy and what she was sharing. I actually did feel this beautiful pillar of light coming through me, and I was actually starting to rock. And I felt physically more energy in my body, and I was at ease. I felt like a peace inside of me, because before my conversation I was not in a good state. I was really feeling like I was suffering, and the way my life was to that point was not, I just had to change. Something had to change now, or I felt like I was going to die or explode. It was that intense for me. And after the combat, I felt completely shifted. So shifted. I was so happy. I just felt like I felt nurtured and nourished in my soul, because I knew that I connected with something that was real and true for me, and I knew I was going to get support along the journey, and I was no longer going to feel like alone in that way. I'm pretty just not being, I felt like this was going to help reconnect me to myself, which was going to allow me to teach my son to be connected to himself, and for me and my partner to have something that's so nourishing and something that's so deep and beautiful in our relating and our love, because I truly love my husband so much. And after that, love making, after the conversation was different. It was completely different. It was amazing. I just felt natural. There was no trying. I didn't need to do anything or feel it or tell myself, or it just, the energy was there and we were connecting, and it was effortless and it was beautiful and it was intimate and it was rich and deep, like we were really feeling each other. And it felt like that beautiful, like you just felt so happy. You were like connected, you were feeling each other.
And there were new feelings?
There were new feelings completely, and I didn't have to try anything. It was just basically there was a shift, and yeah, it was really obvious to my husband. He was really feeling, because he's like, wow. But yeah, I felt really beautiful too.